Hey everybody, Rorree here. All right, so I'm doing my daily prospermation cards. As I shared before, I created a program. Actually, the second course that I did was called the Prosperity Formula. And at that time, it was a recorded program, and we also had some live sessions. Now it's all online. But with that program, I created a CD series and some affirmation cards. And these say the Prosperity Formula Daily Prospermations, and then on the other side has the thing that you want to affirm in your life. So it took me a minute to create them, and I kind of went through things that I say to myself and things that I feel are powerful to speak out into the universe. So the way I use these cards is that I shuffle them as I might be praying, and then I lay them out, and then I just pick one. Sometimes I might pick more than one, but usually I'll just pick one, and that's how I'm going to start my day out. So the one I picked today to share with you guys says, when I quiet my mind, I hear the messages from my Supreme Being. Not everyone has the right to speak into my life, so I'm careful where I ask advice. So that's kind of two things there, okay? So the first thing is that when I quiet my mind, I hear messages from Source, my Supreme Being. And that is true. That's how I hear Source. I just get quiet and still. Oftentimes, I hear from Source during my meditation times. Sometimes when I'm in the shower, I've noticed that a lot recently. I'll get messages while I'm in the shower. And that's probably because I'm only bathing or standing there and just breathing and feeling the water. I love water. But most times I'm always doing something, either I'm reading or listening or something, working with my staff or something. I'm always doing something. So I guess that's why sometimes those messages come to me in the shower, because I'm really just in a free space where I'm just being. Sometimes when I sit down and meditate, I get messages from the Holy Spirit within. So just being quiet, being still, and listening to the inner voice, your inner voice, that is a great way to hear your messages. Sometimes people, they call me, they ask me questions, they want intuitive guidance. But honestly, my gift to you would be to teach you how to tap into your God mind so you can hear your inner guidance for yourself. And then if you just need some validation or something like that, or clarity, then that's another thing. Now, believe me, I used to be an intuitive junkie. Even though I'm intuitive myself, I always would go for validation. And that's where you have to learn to trust your inner voice. And that's where I had to get to. I had to get to that place where I trusted the voice that I was hearing, and I trusted what I was hearing for myself. Like, I could hear for somebody else and hear all of this stuff real clear, loud, and everything. But then when it was for myself, I would be like, is that right? I'd be questioning myself. So I had to get to that place where I trusted the voice that I was hearing within. Now, the second part of this card talks about not everyone having the right to speak into my life. So I'm careful where I ask advice. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you, it is so important to be careful where you stop on the road, on your journey for advice, because not everybody has the right to speak into your life. Some people say that if a person hasn't done it themselves, how could they show you how? However, I'm not sure that I fully agree with that, because what is his name? Phil Jackson. He was the coach for the Lakers. He was like an excellent coach, right? And he taught those guys how to tap into their higher selves. He taught them how to meditate, how to visualize. I remember one time I saw Shaquille O'Neal. He was giving a tour of his house. Remember that show, MTV Cribs or something? And he was giving a tour of his house, and then he went, and at 2:00, everybody knows what to do. They go away, and I just sit down right here, and I close my eyes, and then he was saying how he would do his shots, like he would shoot 3-pointers and stuff like that. I was like, he meditates? What? And, you know, this was years ago when I saw this, but okay, so long story short, I'm always telling a story. But so Phil taught those guys how to meditate, how to visualize, how to see themselves having it before they had it. That's why the Lakers were so powerful. At least that's what I think. That's how I feel. Because they had some extra help from, you know, the Zen Phil. But anyway, so, you know, I say all that to say, tapping, now what was I saying? I done got all into that story. Oh, the reason I was talking about him, asking for advice. Now, what I understood was he wasn't always the best player when he used to play in the NBA, but he was surely a great coach. So not always the best player is the best coach. So I can't say that I wouldn't ask advice from someone who didn't do it themselves, because they still might have some good advice for you. But I would say, just be careful when you ask for your advice. Sometimes people are really, really negative. Sometimes people are really, really pessimistic. So do you want that person speaking into your life? That person that's always going to be negative about your situation? You might have friends that are always negative about your stuff, and you might not really want to share with them what's going on. You may have family members who are always negative. One thing about me is I don't want a whole bunch of people breathing negativity into my stuff, breathing it into my life. You may have friends or family members who talk about you. You know that friend that you have that after y'all have a conversation, they're on the phone with somebody else talking about you. You know that friend. So if you have friends like that, you might not want to discuss and disclose all your journey, all your plans, all your everything with that person, because they're going to be analyzing you, picking you apart, and sharing all this negativity with the next person. And you never know who's going to hear that. You know what I mean? I remember one time I met a young lady, and she said, you know what? I heard this girl at a hair salon talking about you like a dog. And I didn't even know you, but she was apparently a friend of yours, and she was irritated with you, and she was really talking about you. And so whoever this person was at a hair salon. I could kind of have an idea who it was, but anyway, she was at a hair salon talking about me. And now this stranger who didn't even know me, who ended up meeting me later, you know, was privy to all of this information that was opinionated. You know, thank God when she met me, she didn't hold whatever that person said against me or formulate negative opinions about me because of what this other person's opinions were. But this is why it's so important to be mindful of who you allow to speak into your life and who you share your life and your visions with. Sometimes it's better to just be the hell quiet and don't share with anybody if that's the case, you know. But the card was about people speaking into your life, so definitely be mindful of that. I remember one time I was about to move to Dallas, and this lady said to me, she said, oh my God, you gonna move there? And she said, I don't know if your business is gonna do good there. The people over there are like this and like that, right? And I was like, oh my God. So it just felt like she vomited a bunch of negativity on me. And I was like, dang, well, thank you for that vote of confidence, because, you know, I done already bought a house and I'm moving, so it's not like I'm going to change because you just gave me that really negative opinion. But thank you so much, because when I moved there, every time I had a bump or a bruise or a situation on my path, guess what I heard in my head? Her. You know, I heard that voice. So it's better, and that's why even sometimes when people ask me for my opinion, I might not tell them if I might be mindful of how I deliver the information versus giving somebody, dumping a whole bunch of negativity onto somebody, because that was crappy. And I'm going to tell you, every time I had a bump or a bruise, I thought of that lady and her negative opinion. But anyway, So that's another reason why you want to be careful when you go asking advice, you know. And then, okay, so let me tell you another story. I remember I had this girlfriend. Now, I know y'all had these kind of friends where they can ask you for advice and you just give them a roadmap. You know, you can plan out a journey for them, right? But the minute you ask them something, they're like, I don't know. Like Scooby-Doo or something. Oh no. And I was like, damn. Every time I ask you a question, you don't know. And I felt and the way I felt kind of used. I was like, well, you use my brain up, but every time I need a real valuable piece of advice, your answer is, oh no. You know. And so I had to say, why the hell you keep asking her opinion? Because she don't never know nothing. But that's the truth. And then you have to know who you're dealing with. You have to know who your friends are. You know, you might have those friends that just don't know. So you have to know who you can ask advice from and who you shouldn't, you know. So I know I shared a whole lot about this one little card today, but I hope you enjoyed it. I get a kick out of talking to you guys and sharing with you, and as you can see, I get a kick out of telling stories. Don't forget, tonight we'll be doing some more Oracle healings. We're doing free Oracle and Oracle sessions and healings all week. We had a ball last night. We did some serious healing. Some different things come up with people on the calls with these Oracle sessions. So definitely call. And you know, I usually share with people that when you work with me, you might have a question, but you might get something totally different than you expect for your answer. So anyway, tonight, I think I'll try to put a link. One of the posts has a link for the Oracle sessions where you can register for them, but I'll see if I can add one to this post. We're doing them tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and then tomorrow's the last night for these free sessions that we've done all week. So I hope you enjoy them, and I hope you enjoy your day. Alrighty, peace.